guys, what's up? It's Kathy and I'm back with my last process video for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the September kits and they are gorgeous, so I'm happy that I get to kind of break into them at least once before my term was over. And I'm doing some mixed media, so this video is a little bit longer than normal, and there's going to be some cuts and transitions. So just to give you as a heads up, so I'm going to coat the background with gesso, and it was just white gesso. I'm going to wait for it to dry, and then I just want to show you I'm inspired by the Pink Fresh Studio hearts, the chipboard hearts. They've got different colors all over them and splotches and different things. So that's what I'm going to kind of mimic for my background. So I'm using some paints from the color kit. I'm not good at any of this kind of stuff. Mixed media is not my forte, so you can kind of see how it didn't quite splotch out the way I wanted it to. I do go back and add a bit more blue, and I even go back and add more after this too. But I just wanted to bring in the blue, and then it's a colorings. Yeah, it's a colorings. No, a shimmers. Yeah. Okay, it's called Shimmers, Anchors Away, and then the pink that I bring in, it's like a peachy pink, and it's called Grapefruit, and it's a creamies. So it's a watercolor with a touch of shimmer, and you have to put water in it. It's like hard, and you just add water. I'm off to kind of find some acrylic paints too, because I want some solid paints. So I'm using a light pink as well. It's a Martha Stewart one, and then I use just some, my dollar store, not my dollar store, but my cheap acrylic paints, I should say. Most of the times they only cost me like $1 or $2 to buy them. But I just wanted some different colors because there was like a turquoise, like a seafoamy turquoise in the on the hearts, and there was also like a bright green. So I do add that in the end, but originally I don't, and then I noticed that the hearts have that too. So I'm just gonna kind of go with it. I had thought about adding a really dark blue, like a navy blue, but I just kind of decided not to be bothered with that. I just got those pieces a little darker. So, when I'm looking at it like videotaped, like when I was looking at it in person, I was really not happy with it. But when I look at it here on the screen, and then also now that the layout's done, I really like it. I used watered down acrylic paint to make my black splotches, but I think it was because I was trying to use a watercolor brush or something. Nothing wanted to splatter out, and I was too lazy to go find one of my other little brushes. So I just started dotting it. And I'm gonna use my brush, or not my brush, use my heat tool to dry it. So here I'm adding in some of that bright green, just to kind of I don't know, add a bit more color. And I'm just wiping up my uh, mat. I'll have to clean it here later because I got everything on it. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting everything dry with my heat tool because I'm going to go back in with gold embossing powder to add gold touches to different parts of it. And that's not really based on the hearts so much as it was based on the clips, the wood clips that were from Pink Fresh Studio too. They had touches of gold on them, and I just liked the splotchiness of them added with the touches of gold. Okay, so I was being really lazy because I was making this project really late at night, and I've got to go away the next day to take my son to a children's hospital for a checkup. So, logically, I should have done this a little bit at a time, and and whatnot, but I don't have a lot of loose leaf kicking around to do this with, so I just kind of I edited it out, but I did kind of make a bit of a mess. I covered the entire thing with the embossing powder because I couldn't remember where I'd put the embossing uh, glue, whatever it's called. So yeah, so I edited that part out. It was a mess. Anyway, I did get it mostly cleaned up, but you can see there now I went ahead and glued down my background, and I glued it on top of the crepe paper Maggie Holmes Gather one. It was, I'm not even sure what the back of the paper, it was the tiny pink floral. But I loved this turquoise stripe, and yeah, I could have backed it on non-pattern paper, and probably most people would, but I kind of love doing busy uh, busy layouts. So I went really busy, and I got something stuck on my photo. So you can see me trying to get it off there. I just ended up printing a new photo. I just got mad at it. So that is one of the Project Life cards, the blue polka dot, and the other two pieces are ephemera pieces from the Maggie Holmes Gather collection that I got. And I kind of flick it around and figure out where I'm going with this, because now the pink tag is too far down, it's too far in, and it's not showing enough, and but I stapled it down, and and then nothing was sticking, so I put double-sided tape, or well, like foam tape, and that held it. So I mean, you definitely have to use some kind of adhesive like that when you're working on top of a mixed media project, or really good glue, but like not just a tape runner. I don't find that works at all. So I want to bring in a lot of black elements. So I loved the Hey Girl, and I decided to make this kind of almost like a little title going all the way down the page, and I'm gonna keep my my embellishing focused on going straight down the middle of the page, since the photo's in the middle of the page, which is a little bit unusual for me. Usually I'm pretty, oh my gosh, I fiddle around with this thing for so long. Anyway, I do end up using that floral one that I have attached there, but I don't end up using it on that piece, and I put it somewhere different. But I just can't, I'm breaking into stuff and I can't really decide, because this is the struggle when you have like the very first layout that you make with the kit. I find I just don't know what to do, where to go with this, what to use, what not to use. Am I going to use too much? I was worried that you wouldn't see that loved, because it wouldn't sit up enough. It wouldn't be, oh, excuse me, noticeable enough or anything like that. But yeah, I just keep messing around with where I'm going to put stuff. I don't end up using that XOXO. I do end up using the hello tag there. That's there. I really like that piece. And I felt it matched well. And I was kind of just thinking about that. And then I was like, well, what am I going to put up top? And oh, it just kept going. So I like this XOXO as well. My original thought when I made this was to use that one. And I think I should have used it up top. Like as I look at it now, when I just had it up there at the top for a second, I liked it up there. So I probably should have put it up there, but I didn't. I put it down below. So I do have to bring in a dark element up top too. I just end up bringing in like a little button that says XOXO, but it helps bring in a dark piece up top as well. I'm going to bring in some of the Posh Simple Stories washi tape, and I do end up having to staple down those ephemera pieces, because they just do not want to stay down, even with every kind of sticking, and I love the loved. So the title ends up being like, "Hey girl, you are loved." Um, I was thinking I was going to use these, but then there's just too much black going on down in the bottom. So I'm trying to think of something to put there. And I grab an ephemera piece in a bit and just put the Maggie Holmes Gather, the little gold rubber, not rubber, but puffy alphas. I put those on it and spell out "you are," and kind of just embellish from there. Up top, I put this cute little stamp that said "shine." It was from the ephemera from the Posh collection. Yeah, I don't do a ton of embellishing on this because I don't really need to. Like the background does a lot for it, and this whole like sweeping down title works really well. So yeah, it kind of just all does its own thing. I think I just kind of cut out me moving this around because I do move it around forever. It's a bunch of ballerinas. I didn't really care. I wasn't going to use it on anything else. So I just thought it was a great way to kind of get that title in. So that's kind of the finishing title there, and I decide to use one of the cute bows, and there's the XO button that I think helps bring in a little bit of darkness to the top, but of course I have to bring in another button or circular piece down below, and I end up switching that one for the swan one later, and then I decide I want to use a tassel, but where? Oh, where do I use a tassel? And I figured since the bow was down below, the tassel should be up top. So I'm going to cheat and just stick it down with a glue dot because I'm too lazy to stitch it down and I'm too lazy to put new staples in my tiny attacher to staple it down. I was really lazy tonight. It's a late night doing this. We had a sleepover with some cousins came over to have a sleepover with our kids. So we were doing that most of the day. I haven't even packed yet. I got to do that tomorrow. Thankfully, it's just a day trip, one overnight, but I don't really need to pack a ton for that. So thank goodness. Um, I'm going to use some enamel dots just for fun. I don't know. I just wanted to pop them in. I'm not going to use everything, and I don't even end up using the actual hearts that this layout was based off of. I just I thought it might be overkill to kind of use the hearts as well since that pattern was already there. But no, I really like how this layout turned out. I'm off to find something. I'm not sure what. Oh, I was off to get my brush. I can't believe I didn't cut that out. I went to go find one of my brushes so I could water down my black craft paint again, which is my favorite way to do black splotches. Like, look how awesome those turn out. I love them. So messy and fun, and and I painted some in, but it really brings in that element that was very similar to the hearts. So yeah, so I really love how fun this layout turned out and pastelly and anyway. So yeah, thanks guys for watching and have an awesome day. And pictures are coming up. Bye.